Hey guys, Jenny with JennyProRealtor.com. Look at my other videos as we walk through homes and houses and looking at the statistics and the market and the trends and what to be looking for in that. Today we're going to be talking about the interest rates rising, what it's going to do for the economics, specifically for Utah, since a lot of people are saying Utah might be at risk for what's going to happen with the slowdown because we do have a massive build influx trying to keep up with the population, trying to pick up the inventory. Are there going to be homes sitting on the market now longer periods? Are the prices going to lower because of the interest rates? The interest rates rising are knocking out a lot of buyers because they cannot qualify for what they want anymore. All of this coming up in this video. Okay guys, let's break this down a little bit. Interest rates are on the rise. The feds are rising the interest rates. Why do the feds rise the interest rates? Something to pay attention to. The feds rise the interest rates because they start to see a recession and or depression on the rise because of how much spending is happening. Sometimes I like to think of it as maybe the feds wanting to take a little chunk of what's happening with the housing market because prices are at an all-time high. But in reality, they're trying to lessen what's going to happen moving forward, making it more of a secure market rather than a volatile market, because that's what we've seen. The reasons why the interest rates lowered was because of COVID, though. They were trying to keep the market keep going. They didn't want to shut it down because they didn't want to shut down the economy. What happened in the housing market made a huge impact on what was happening with COVID. During COVID was my busiest years because of the low interest rates. People were refining, they wanted taking advantage of it. People didn't have cash to go on vacations because they couldn't go on vacation, so they used their cash to buy a home. Lots of different elements in play of why the market spiked up. It's also become the easiest time in America to become a citizen. You have refugees moving in. We have a high population increase happening in the United States. If you want to talk about Utah specifically alone, we are continually having an increased population because of all the businesses moving in. Look at the statistics. Make sure you know your facts when you're talking about this. So, will the rise of interest rates slow down the housing prices? Some things to take into consideration. We talked about the population increase, but will the builders build too much to overpower what's happening? Will there be homes sitting on the market longer than we know? And will those prices go down because of that? Will it turn into a buyer's market? Take into consideration where the gas prices are at right now. Gas prices are at an all-time high, which means your materials are going to cost at an all-time high as well. So your builders are going to have high expenses, therefore they're not going to want to move their prices. Now, if it ends up being that there's too many buyers being knocked out because of wages and can't afford, wages are going to have to give. Something is going to happen with the inflation on this market, specifically in Utah, since we have 3 cities on the top 10 charts of the rising cities in the United States. Things to take into account. When you're looking at all of these factors, you need to determine, how am I going to be able to survive through a recession? Is it smart to buy in a recession? Is it smart to sell in a recession? And how should I move forward? Well, all of those answers really depend on the specifics of your situation and your job and the security of it and what it is like moving forward. It is still at an all-time low for interest rates. We know back where the crash was happening, they jumped up to around 18%. So you want to think about the difference of that. When people ask me, where am I going to save my money? At the purchase price of the home or the interest rate? I always say the interest rate. Now we know the interest rates are rising, which means it's going to make a larger monthly payment for you, but they're still at a good time all low. The feds have told us it's going to go up about 4 to 6 more times. So if you're wanting to get into the market, I suggest that you get into it as soon as you can. I've always said that if you can afford to buy a home, then you need to buy a home. It's stupid not to buy a home, and it's stupid to continue to rent if you can afford to buy. I own properties, I'm a landlord, and I'm looking forward to what's happening with renters and still not being able to find rental properties. Renting is going up, how to sustain that, what's that going to look like. I have other videos on that in my YouTube channel. Go check them out, and we'll continue to talk about how to survive during a recession and if it's a good time for investors to jump in during this time. Tune in next time. This is Jenny with JennyProRealtor.com with Equity Real Estate. See you guys next time.